Hello guys, welcome back to the channel for a new Databricks video. Today's video is about loop and if-else statements in Databricks. We did a similar video in the past, but it was more complex. Today's video is much more simple and it's for those who are new to Databricks. There are two main ways to run a notebook while performing a loop or an if statement in Databricks. The first one is by using workflow jobs in the user interface, and the second one is via coding the old-fashioned way. If you use workflow jobs, just to know that there are limitations of what you can do. It cannot handle complex scenarios like performing a loop inside a loop or performing an if-else statement inside a loop. There is no direct way to perform those tasks using workflow jobs. Instead, you have to use code for these cases, but you will see those limitations yourself. Let's get down to business. Okay guys, I'm here on our Databricks workspace. I have multiple workflows jobs, as you can see. The first one that we are going to see is the simple loop. It's very simple. So you create a new job. I have already created the job, as you can see, and here the outer box is the loop, and then you select the type. This, as you can see, is for each, right? And then in the inputs you need to provide an array of strings or an array of dictionary, as you can see, as you will see in a bit. And here you can provide the concurrency, so how many jobs it will simultaneously run. Here we provide only 3 inputs, so it's going to run 3 jobs simultaneously, 3 notebooks actually simultaneously. If you want to do that from the beginning, you click on the add task and then you scroll down where it says for each, so you click on the for each blade and then you have to provide the name, for example test, right? And then the type is for each, and then here we have the inputs. You need to provide, you can provide numbers or strings or dictionaries that you will see in a bit, and here you provide the concurrency, whatever you want, like 100, and run if dependencies are all succeeded. So this is how you define the loop, and then you click on the add button here, and then here you select the type. This is notebook, right? So you select one from the notebooks, and then the cluster, create a task, and it's going to create this simple loop I created over here. So the outer box is the actual loop with the inputs and the concurrency parameter, and inside the loop we have the task. That points to the Databricks workflow, to the Databricks notebook that we're going to run. Also, you have to define the cluster, and here also you can provide parameters. Now, if you click on the parameters on the add button here, you will see you have to provide the key and then the value. Now, the value equals input here. If I remove this and click on the brackets, you will see input is the input value that we get from the inputs here. So this is what the input here means inside the brackets. Let me run this. So we are going to loop over this array here, this array with those cities: Berlin, Athens, New York, and then for each city we are going to run this notebook. Now let me open this notebook here to see what we have and what it does. So it actually has a widget which takes the parameter value and then it displays this value, so it displays the city, and it's going to run three separate notebooks concurrently as we define the concurrency here. So let me run this one and see what we get. As you can see, they are all running. Input is Berlin, here input is Athens, and for the last notebook is New York. So all those notebooks are running now. If you click on the start time for whichever notebook you want, you will see that the notebook that we specified is running, and it's going to run the code and display the city. So this is how you can perform a very simple loop using workflow jobs. Now, a more complex loop is to actually pass an array of dictionaries in the inputs. Here, as you can see, we have an array, but inside the array we don't provide integer numbers, nor do we provide strings. We provide a dictionary with the information we need. Here we have a dictionary, actually 3 dictionaries. Each dictionary has a city and an ID, and here the concurrency level is 3 again, and inside the task here, the task that we specify, we point to this notebook here, which does exactly the same thing. It prints the values that we pass in the inputs, right? So via widgets, it's going to display the city and the ID. So let me fix that. And city and ID. Okay, I think we are good to go here. Let's run this this loop here, which is a bit more complex. Actually, it's the same thing, but we provide dictionaries instead of strings or numbers. Let's see what we get. As here you can see Berlin, and then we have an ID, and then we have Athens and Boston, and let's see here that we run this. City is Boston, ID is 3. Okay, that's a bit more complex. And now another way to perform a more, let's say, complex loop where we have to get the value programmatically is to use a simple notebook to define the values. So if we open this notebook here, you will see that we have the data. So we have an array of dictionaries again, and instead of using the inputs and define those data manually, we provide data from a notebook, which is a very common scenario in real life. And then here we use dbutils.jobs.taskvalues.set, and then we provide the key equals data here, which you can provide whatever key name you want, and the value is the array of dictionaries that we have here. So here we have country and city, right? If we go here, so first we use a notebook to fetch the data, and then we have the loop, and inside the loop in the inputs we provide here the tasks.getData.values.data. Now, how did we know how to do that? Well, actually, you click here, and then it provides the whole tasks.getData.values.myValue. Now, myValue has to be changed to data because it's this key that we defined here, right? So once you change that to the key name that you provided, you have to provide the concurrency if you want to run those notebooks simultaneously, and it depends on the get data task, and it runs if everything was succeeded. So let me run this one and see what we get. You can see there are multiple notebooks here that we are looping over. You see, we fetch the data from the notebook, and then we are going to run three loops here, and of course we display the values like before, country and city. Let's wait. Yep, country is Germany, city is Berlin. That's fine. Now for an if statement, now this is something a little bit different. It's not the loop, it's the if-else statement that we all know. So here under tasks, you have, let's say, you have this notebook, and here we have this data here. We pass this data into the job tasks. So dbutils.jobs.taskvalues.set, and the key name is country and the value equals Greece. Now here we fetch the data from this notebook, and then next thing we have is an if-else statement. So you have to provide the task name, and then the type is if-else condition, right? And then it depends on the get data. We fetch the data. If all succeeded, then the condition is the key name that the key value actually that we provided here, and then not equals Germany. So if it is not equal to Germany, if it's true, as you can see here, we have if true, then go here. And here, as you can see, it depends on the if condition true. So you select from all those options, if condition true, then pass this key, the country, which is again the task get values country from here, from this task here. Again, we provide the country as a parameter, and then we display the country. If it's false, then it goes to the false scenario. So let's run this one. This should run, this would be true, because the condition, we compare Greece and Germany, they are not equal, so it goes to true. As you can see now, this is green here, true is green, and then it runs the if true notebook. Okay, so let's go back in the if else job here, and actually here let's provide Germany right as a value, and then it should, now let's run it again, and it should go into the false condition. We compare Germany not equals Germany, so this is false because they are equal, as you can see. Now it goes to this path here in the false condition, and it runs this notebook. And of course you can do whatever you like here on this notebook. Country is Germany. So now, what is the problem with this if-else statement? The problem is that you cannot have an if-else statement inside the loop, right? So here, if we add task, let's create a for each a loop here. Let's call it loop intermediate, right? For each input, so let's actually depends on the get data, right? And then for inputs we have this one, and here we have country, right? Country. Okay, so this has the country parameter as inputs. This is fine, right? Now when we are going to create the task here inside the loop, as you can see, there is inside the loop you cannot specify a loop, another loop, or you cannot specify an if-else statement. As you can see, there is nothing. We don't have those options. We have notebook, Python script, Python wheel, SQL, etc., but we don't have another loop or an if-else statement. So this is a limitation here, right? You cannot do anything about that. So let me actually discard the changes here. Another thing is, even if you try, for example, you try to perform a loop here, apparently it's going to stop once it gets the first element, right? So let's say here for I in countries, in the country list, we set the key country and the value equals I, but when we run apparently this workflow, it's going to run only one time because it evaluates the condition, it goes to either true or false, and it stops there. So we cannot have a loop using and an if-else condition combined, right? And this is where the actual code comes into play. Let's go into workspaces. Here we can use threads for concurrency. Actually, threads are not necessary if you don't want to use concurrent, if you don't want to run concurrently many notebooks, but in most cases you would need that. So here, as you can see, it's pretty easy to define the data here, and using a thread pool executor, you define the maximum workers, and for row in data, you provide a function here, which is submit notebook, we pass the data, and then we use dbutils notebook.run, and you specify the notebook that you want to run concurrently, and then you pass the arguments, right? We pass the arguments country and city. And if we run this, you will see we run 3 notebooks concurrently with those parameters: country France, city Paris, country Germany, city Berlin, country Greece, city Athens, and here we run all those notebooks concurrently. And the best thing is, so if you click here on the start time, it will open up a new window with the notebook run, and you can see the values. Now, the cool thing about that is here we can use an if statement inside the for loop, like that we do with coding. It's the most simple things that we can do in coding, and here now we can do that and have an if statement inside the for loop, or a for loop inside another for loop. And here, for example, if not equals Germany, then and only then run the submit notebook function to run simultaneously. This is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's pretty simple apparently, very simple cases. I wanted to show you how to use loops and if-else statements using Databricks workflows, and as you can see, there are many limitations. You cannot perform basic stuff. Sometimes it's suitable for simple cases, but for more complex scenarios it's better to use code and run using thread pool executor. You can run concurrently many notebooks, so pretty easy to do that, as you can see, and I wanted to show that for all those who are new to Databricks. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like the video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.